good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I am ecstatic and elated and excited that a lot of people are starting to pay attention to what I've been saying all this time. And the purpose of this video is just to go back in my archives in history here and to try to not only to remind you, but also with recent events today in this world and society we live in to reaffirm a lot of things that I've done in life to help you, the general public. Let's talk about politics just for a second. If the RNC convention, the Republican National Convention, if that's a sign of how this country is going to be run, well, then we're all in trouble. And then just when they had fingers pointing at them, now we're on the Democratic National Convention, and what a debacle and scandal this is with Debbie Wasserman Schultz. You know, she had already strongly supported Hillary, but to then have these WikiLeaks emails to where Bernie Sanders already said it was a rigged system. Donald Trump said it was a rigged system. And then they come to find out, we already know, it's no surprise to us. But it's amazing how that the news media presented to us as if they're surprised about this rigged system. They're not surprised whatsoever at all. Now we have this Fox sex scandal with Roger Ailes up there. And people are threatening to be fired. You better keep your mouth shut or you will be fired and you will be gone. So you're getting ready to watch a changing of the guard at Fox. Why am I speaking about all this? Because the very people who report to us the news in this country, the very people who condemn the citizenship and then give the law enforcement, no matter who they are, they always give all the Leos a pass. These are the ones who always champion themselves as the epitome of righteousness and the sum of all wisdom, and yet the ground beneath their feet is giving way. The proverbial carpet is literally being pulled out from under them. Listen, let me put a defibrillator on your mind, just in case there's some cognitive dissonance that's actually operating there. Listen to me very closely. There's some dissonance there, I promise you. Somebody say, well, what is dissonance, Pastor? I can best explain it to you rather than trying to define it. Dissonance is when you believe something is not as bad for you and you continue to keep doing it. Let me give you an example. All right, let's say, you know it's going to happen if you smoke these cigarettes that's full of these chemicals. Now, probably 60, 70 years ago, you could smoke tobacco and it probably wouldn't too much bother you whatsoever at all. But you think about this. Now they got pesticides, herbicides, chemical trails, and all types of stuff that they spray on these tobacco plants. I know, I see it because up here in this little county I live in, they got tobacco everywhere and they constantly spraying that stuff. And then they're going to make cigarettes out of these, and then you're going to smoke it, and then they put drugs in there, addictive drugs, to make sure that you can't stop. Then you pay to go to the hospital, and then you die. And see, the system is all about extracting everything it can. You know, there's an old saying, you can't get blood out of a turnip, but I'll be damned if they're going to defile. They're going to get it out of you before you go. And then when you get finished working all your life for a house, for a home, you know what you can expect? To end up in the hospital to where they're going to literally take all your substance from you, because when your savings run out, when your insurance you've been paying on all your life no longer accepts. You get that? No longer accepts you being in the hospital and hiking up their rates by charging up all these bills and stuff. They're going to cancel you. Then they're going to go after your assets. The system is rigged to go after your assets. And then the first thing you do is, as you hear people, especially Fox News and CNN, all of them talk about socialized medicine. Well, look, he's a socialist. Bernie Sanders is a socialist. Now, just because I'm mentioning people's names, it does not mean that I agree with them. There are areas that people say that they speak about that I agree with them, and those are the areas that I speak about. The stuff I disagree with, I clearly let you know. I give an example. Is socialized medicine really so bad? I'll give you an example on that too as well. I can go on all day long. I need to be putting this stuff down before I forget it. But when I was in the military, I'm a former paratrooper, okay? All right, of 10 years. That whole entire system is socialized medicine. Whatever is available to the generals is available to the lowest private in the Army. Really? That's government health care in the military. All throughout, and nobody complains. Everybody loves it. But not only that, their spouses and their children get the same health care. And guess what? We don't have to pay for it. Now, don't get me wrong. The enlisted, their paychecks are not jumping off the charts. But when you look at certain things that the military gets and stuff, especially when we don't have to pay for health care, especially Obamacare, that's a perk. That's a serious perk. And in other countries, industrialized countries, they actually have it. They actually have it to where if you get sick as a citizen, that's how much they love you. Then you can just go down to the nearest hospital, nearest clinic, and they take care of you. But here in America, try to go to the ER. They don't care if your arm falling off. You're going to sit there and wait until you either bleed out or die, because it's much more easier to bury you. Why? Because we get more money for burying you as well. I mean, the coroner gets paid, the funeral home, and everybody. See, this is a system that's all about getting paid. It's all about being paid. It's all about, hold on a second. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, we left off all about getting paid and stuff, but not only that, but listen to me very carefully, all right? Listen to me very, very carefully, okay? Not only about just getting paid in general. It was on my hat right here. Okay. Not only about just getting paid in general, but listen to this dissidence. Going back to the tobacco. You have to somehow, between your mouth here and your head here, you have to convince yourself that smoking this cigarette is not going to be as bad for me as the Surgeon General's warning is that is on that pack. Because the only reason why that the Surgeon General warning is on that pack is because they don't want to be sued. So if you're going to go ahead and kill yourself slowly, know that there's a warning on here, okay? So between that cigarette being between here and here, before it gets to your mouth, you have to actually convince yourself in your mind that this cigarette is not as bad for me as they say that it is. Dissidence. All right. Well, anyway, I have taught people over and over and over again, and it's obvious. It is painfully obvious that America does not care about you. And no matter how many times they parade up these pundits on these mainstream news sources to try to keep you connected to the government, to the benevolent government and stuff, we'll flip the script. You see, when a government no longer fears the people, you're going to have tyranny. Yeah, and that's exactly what we have, because this power is corrupt, and it is corrupt absolutely. And we're feeling it as a people, because we can sing these slogan songs all day long. I'm proud to be an American, but the truth is, are you really? No, you're not. You're proud of the American that used to be in your mind, that used to be formed in your mind, stuff that you learned in elementary and grade school, but when you become an adult, you had a rude awakening. That's provided if you're wide awake. Look, we're watching our country. We're watching the moral decay. We're watching the spiritual bankruptcy. We're watching everything being flipped and turned literally upside down. Now racial tensions are all over the place. Just the other day, I just did another video. And see, my racism in this area is just cops shooting civilians, period. That just because they are the ones that's supposed to exercise physical restraint, professionalism. That's right, because we had rules of engagement, so they should have them too. But their rules of engagement is shoot first, ask questions later, and dead men don't talk. And again, you see the double standard of the law. There's not equal justice under this system, because that cop shot someone. He gets put on administrative leave. He doesn't get cuffed and stuffed. He doesn't get booked and processed. He doesn't get to sit in the jail cell where you get 3 squares and a cot away from his family like you and I do. You see, that's, are you sure you love this system? Now we go over to the monetary system. You know, the Constitution said that gold and silver is money. Now we carry ironclad slugs and paper. And it's no good. It can only buy us goods and services because that's what the system has accepted. But you better be sure, we already passed the global reset of 40 years anyway, as far as fiat currency running its course. So what do I teach? What do I preach? What do I suggest? I suggest, and I want you to listen to me real close, like so many other people who has been listening to me over the years have done. Number one, learn how to live simple. Downsize. You don't need all this stuff. You don't need another TV. You don't need another toaster oven. No, you don't. As a matter of fact, you will find out that you would actually be more happy in life with less than with more. You don't need 2 cars, a picket fence, a dog, and a boat, and a house note. And then you have to work spring, summer, winter, fall, rain or shine in order to pay the debt that you are so-called enjoying. See, when it's new, man, it feels good. A few months later, man, hardships start setting in. Wow, you go, what in the world? I just do, man. Now I got to pay on this thing the next 5 to 7 years because you're not bringing in enough money to be able to pay the thing off. And now, guess what? Debt has become sorrow to you. And now it's constantly weighing on you because many people in America do not know how to control their lust. So learn how to live simple. Downsize. Get out of debt. You wouldn't believe how much stress will come off your life if you just follow those simple examples. One good thing is get the TV out of your house because the TV is nothing but a porno flick. And that's all it is nowadays. And be careful about the movies that you allow in to your home and even the internet in itself. Invest in yourself because America has forsaken you, whether you like it or not. They are telling you by their actions that you are forsaken. Who feels like they get a just deal when they go into them rigged court systems? Who does at any given time? Nobody does. So what we have to do is stop playing the game. We have to stop playing the game because they're going to spin it. Everything that the news media put out in front of you, you're automatically looking at a spin. You just don't know. You're looking at a spin. There's a lot of mudslinging that's going on in this country, and it's bringing confusion upon you as the people. But if you learn how to live simple, you learn how to grow your own food. You're going to have to anyway because the food is going to stop running to these stores. Are you prepared? Let me ask you a question. Do you have at least 6 months of food storage in your home? Do you have clean water stored in your home? Do you have access to clean water? Do you have a deep well? Do you? Nope. You think about that. I was in New York a few weeks ago, okay? And of course, I'm always thinking tactically and stuff. I can't understand why people want to stay in that stairway living when you got all the United States of America, you got all this countryside out here. And it just don't make sense. It's like that people enjoy being around oppressive people. It just don't make sense. And I looked at that, I go, there's no way that I would want my children growing up in this environment right here. Somebody said, well, what do I do to get out? You put one foot in front of the other. You walk right over the bridge and keep on going and don't look back. Besides that, you'll actually relieve yourself of a lot of anxiety paying $15 and $16 tolls. But it's utterly amazing. It really, truly is. If you learn how to live simple, get out into a country. Well, I won't go to country for. So I don't know, I guess you can be a hillbilly or a hick. But the one thing you will be able to do is survive. Learn how to shoot weapons. Learn how to shoot weapons because you need to learn how to hunt. You need to learn agriculture. You need to learn how to use a hoe. You need to learn how to plant. You need to learn how to garden. You need to get some heirloom seeds. And now, what are you talking about, Pastor? I'm talking about preparing. Preparing for what? All you got to do is ask yourself this question. I know your flesh want to stay in the cities because it's easy there. Because it's tough out here. I'll be the first to tell you it's tough out here. But the amount of peace that you receive and the satisfaction you receive knowing that you do not need to depend on the system for your survival. Knowing that you do not need the system for anything because You've used your mind, you've invested in yourself, you've educated yourself to get yourself ready, prepared to move out. And not only that, you have a small homestead paid for. And you don't have to go out there, and you don't need a $60, $70, $80, $90,000 a year job in order to pay some college debt that you can't pay, to work your fingers to the bone in order to keep this debt system afloat. Then just maybe if you remove yourself from them, then you could hear when I'm talking about the truth of silver and gold. Because it's going to happen. It is happening. It's a great store of wealth. It's better than depending on paper. Paper, you have to depend on their word. Everything I'm telling you, I've been saying for years on this channel. Listen, I have over 3,300 videos on this channel. I talk about everything from political, religious, social, economic perspectives and point of views. I believe me, I hit all points. And believe you me, I have something in these videos that sooner or later, when you get to them, they will offend you. The key is don't pay attention to the offense, or if I say something that's going to disturb you, what you should do is this. As soon as you feel an offense or something like that, go to the source that I get my information from, read it, and see if what I am saying is so. What you're going to learn is that at least this pastor right here has loved you enough to tell you the truth. You see, when I wake up in the morning, I've been doing this for 20 years. When I wake up in the morning, I'm surrounded by people I know, my neighbors, because when I purchased this land, I got brothers and sisters. They believe like I believe. They walk like I walk. They talk like I talk. We're all believing self-sufficient. You're in bad shape. You're in very bad shape if you stay in those cities. And things are going from bad to worse. All it takes is for one car to turn sideways. That bridge that goes over the Hudson up in New York, you done shut the whole place down. That's it. You done shut it down. It's just too confined. It's bad. It's bad. And now the powers that be are trying to cause racial tensions in this country by trying to pit the whites against the blacks and the blacks against whites. And even some of you have tried to get on there and call me a racist, but then I've only had the integrity of two people in the last couple of weeks actually go to my website, my ministry website, straightway.com, www.strait, straightway like up there, way.com. They go there and then they look around my website. First, they get shocked because I'm not a pastor that is under the deception and guise of a religious system. I'm going to speak the truth and tell the truth no matter how unpopular it is. Let's just say it. There's a lot of things in this country that we just simply don't want to hear because we're not ready to change. So therefore we condemn it. Because anytime somebody speaks up and somebody tells you the truth, it communicates to your spirit that there's a change that needs to be taking place here if you want to experience love, joy, and peace. But if your flesh is ruling, it's going to fight against me. I've done nothing to you, but just give a video and words on here. But I'm trying to give you advice. My friend Pastor Fox, he does everything he can to try to educate you, to try to teach you. And we're talking about from life experiences. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about giving you information from life experiences that will better you. Listen, don't go out there and work only to pay all your money back into a system of corruption. Take from the system and take everything you can from the system and develop your homestead and then learn how to defend that homestead against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Invest in yourself. Just invest in yourself. No matter, be it knowledge, be it learning how to garden and stuff. You're going to have to invest in yourself because this same system that they have trained you to believe in is already working on making you a bunch of zombies, making you dependent upon it to where you have to come to it. But if you really truly want to know what freedom, you want to know what the eyes of liberty look like, all you have to do is look into my eyes and you see what liberty is. Because I'm a free man. You ain't going to find too many pastors, if any at all, talking the way I talk on this YouTube channel, because I'm free. I'm literally free. I'll give you an example. I owe no man nothing. I have no loans to anybody that I owe them anything. I have no loans to credit card companies. I don't owe them anything. I have no mortgage. I don't have a mortgage. Or if I own. Do you understand? Y'all listen to me. I own my lands. Do you understand that? And what I'm telling you is things that I've done. You don't need stuff. Well, Pastor, I see you drive around in nice vehicles. Well, you don't actually see the vehicles, but yes, I do drive around in nice vehicles. The difference with me is this. I'm not going to go out and buy a brand new vehicle and pay $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80,000 for it. Why should I do that when I can wait 10 years and buy the same vehicle that used to cost that much for $10,000 or $15,000? Well, it's old, Pastor. It's got over 100,000 miles. Yeah, but how many vehicles you see on the road that can run 200,000, 300,000 miles? I'll run it in the ground. I'll take care of it in the process. I'll run it in the ground, take care of it in the process until it's time to get rid of it. Then I just go get me another old vehicle. I don't have to have all the latest bells and whistles. I think what that is being content. Being content with such things as you have. Because when you look at it, transportation is designed to get you from one place to another. I guess this is a life educated type of talking that I'm trying to do with you. Don't depend on the political system. I don't care if you a Democrat, a Republican rat, Democrat, Republican, or whatever it is. It's all a circus and theater. It's a dog and pony show. These people do not have your best interest in mind. This is wrong. The rich is only for the rich, and they use the poor to rule over, and it's hurting us. Because you don't see rich people, children, going off to these warrantless wars for resources and lands and putting up puppet masters, dictators. You don't see them. They're sitting back in their sealed homes, sealed house. They parade their polygynous children up in front of the whole world and stuff, and nobody says nothing about it. They're celebrated. They're championed. Yes, they are. But you and I grew up a poor man. When I went into the military and stuff, I didn't see any rich children. I didn't at all. It's a sad, sad thing because, it's our children that is going and dying in order to keep the rich afloat in this country. We need to wake up. I hope that you have ears to hear. I appreciate you allowing me to spend time with you this morning. But remember what I said. You can go click on any one of the titles of my videos. I'm telling the truth. It just may be the truth that you're not ready for and truth you don't want to hear. But anytime that I say something and you get offended, stop right then and there. Go and do your own due diligence, your own research, and see if what I have been telling you is so. You know what you're going to find out? You're going to find out that Pastor Dow was a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. You're going to find out that ever since I've been on YouTube, I am a friend that have loved at all times. And that's the truth. And that's the true straight way.